I think like across the board with Epcot, any attraction in Epcot from its opening day, I think is going to have nostalgia, even if it's specifically tied to the sociology of the 80s or not, because, Epcot has had a very clear mission when it was open, very clear theming, very intentional, message and storytelling going on there. And in my opinion, it's kind of lost that to an extent. And I think that that's really interesting. But anything in Epcot from its opening days, I think is going to definitely hit very close to home because um, it set the precedent for the rest of the park. Horizons is one of those iconic ones that also was a hit. I never got to ride it, right? But it's one of those ones that like keeps coming up from people of your generation who visited Epcot when it was fresh, and it's definitely one that's missed for sure.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the spiritual sequel to Carousel of Progress. And remember, Carousel of Progress ends with sort of a modern-ish take on family life. Horizons was literally a looking to the future. It was all about what do we have to look forward to as humanity has advanced technologically, and it is missed. The second attraction you may have more of an opinion of because you've been exposed to it to a certain extent, and that is Journey into Imagination, the original version, which closed in 1998. You're actually experiencing the third version of that attraction, but the original version closed in 1998, featuring the Dreamfinder and the original beloved Figment. This ride and the nearby image works were the heart of Epcot's creativity. Journey to Imagination, somewhat of a controversial topic. People love Figment. They hate the attraction. They're waiting for it to be redone again. It'll be the fourth version if Disney comes around to redoing it. Thoughts on this making the list of nostalgia?
People hate the attraction because the technology in the attraction is outdated, not because of the message of the attraction. The message of this attraction is very, very Epcot. It's very, very Epcot. And I think that sort of breaks down into like two or three things. But the main one in my head is the personification and the tangible, the creation of a tangible concept of imagination, and the idea that we can personify the dream finder as someone that exists within all of us, or a figment that exists within all of us, to create a tangible way to talk about these concepts. And the original opened in the 80s and it's only changed since. Some people say it's changed for the better. Some people say it's changed for the worse. I can't speak to that. I only know this version of it. I do think the Dreamfinder should come back. I think the Dreamfinder and Figment should be a duo. Why do I think this sticks out in the 80s? Again, anything that opened original to Epcot is going to stick out of the 80s because when it opened, but the 80s is definitely this like creativity boom for sure, like particularly with like film. And I think just like Hollywood had like this almost second renaissance at the end of the 70s and at the beginning of the 80s, particularly for Disney, right? And I think the idea of like creativity being a part of society was definitely really important. More so in the 80s than it ever had been.
You should also go and find a YouTube video of the original Journey to Imagination featuring the Dreamfinder and Figment. I think you would be pleasantly surprised at how much better that attraction was than what exists today, which is why so many people of my generation and the generation slightly younger than me are like, where's the Dreamfinder? Where's the Dreamfinder? You should go back and watch that.